I've been trying to put together a translator video, but I've kind of had a mental block on it. And it's been kind of a crazy week, I think. I ever just feel like you don't have enough time? Because that's been my week. Like, dude, I have no time, but I get nothing done either. I don't understand it. And it's been kind of a, cranky past couple days. Oh, I woke up with a sty today. I scratched my eyelid or something yesterday, and now that's all puffy, so I look like shit. I can't eat for 2 days because of a procedure I'm having done on Thursday. This is my first day without eating, and it's only 3 p.m., and I'm starving. I don't know how I'm going to make it. It's 50 degrees here, so it's cold, and my dog got into something and just keeps farting all over the house. My house just smells like shit. I can't take it. So I'm kind of cranky. That might be adding to why I haven't been able to really put together a translator video. But it's not just that. A translator video is not going to get what I want to say across. And that's been bothering me because I want to say what I want to say. What made me realize this was I took a break, was watching YouTube, and I saw Not Another Tea channel, dropped a new video. I like her. I have kind of a crush on her, I think. She was talking about things though that I really wanted to discuss, about like toxic behavior. And I started thinking, why haven't I really discussed this? Because I used to discuss this a lot when I started out. And it dawned on me that I've been trying not to make too many waves because I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why I'm so afraid to make waves. I mean, if there's anything I'm pretty good at, it's making waves. I'm going to talk about some toxic behavior that I have experienced lately, and most of which has been my own. I don't want this to come across as like I'm pointing the finger at everyone. I'm not. If anything, I'll be pointing the finger at myself mostly, but I mean, there might be a little bit of pointing. This is not going to be a translator video. This is going to be commentary. So starting with my own, I've been wrong about a few things. Now, some things I love being wrong about. Like, for example, when I discussed self-taught beauty, I had, which led to me discussing a not-so-evil stepmother. My first impression of her was completely wrong. I mean, I can't really think of an instance where I've been so wrong about someone as I was about her. I just really got this impression, for whatever reason, that she was just this really not so good person. But then seeing how everything played out with her helping self-taught beauty, I realized how wrong I was. And I love being wrong like that. That's awesome. One other way, though, I don't like being wrong, and I was very wrong about this. Not too long ago, I did a live stream where I was commentating on one of Katie's live streams. And in her live stream, she had said that her haters would defend some like really horrible people if it meant being able to disagree with her. Now, that is true. I did think that was true to a certain extent. I did kind of disagree and said so, that I hadn't seen anyone go to these lengths in which to disagree with her. And I probably even said something like, I've never seen this and I don't see this or whatever. Boy, was I wrong. Because people will, maybe not this specific behavior I have seen like defended just to disagree with her, but pretty damn close. And if they can get that close, well, then it's going to get a lot closer. Yeah, I was wrong for thinking that. Another thing I think I was wrong, I'll be honest, I think I was partially wrong, was regarding the whole October live stream with Red, in which we discussed Katie's report there. Now, I don't regret having gotten the report, and I don't regret why I did, because I'll be honest, right as soon as I heard her talking about how she was blaming the officer and everything, I really felt she was lying. But I wasn't going to come right out and say she was lying without learning something, without trying to figure something, if that was true or not. That's why I got the report. And that really was my main goal. My intention was to correct this if it was wrong. As the events played out, I realized that it was wrong. And as the events played out since then, I really realized that her claims against this officer were wrong. I have no doubt that her claims against this officer were wrong. However, I do not think I did as good of a job as I should have at avoiding all other things regarding that. And I even think that I probably didn't fight any impression that the stream was giving in regards to anything else surrounding that whole situation. That, looking back on it, I now see that, that was pretty messed up. I should have handled that a lot differently and a lot better. The reason why, though, I'm kind of proud of what I did for half of it, I've maybe done some good throughout my life, but I don't think I've done a whole lot of good. And knowing that I likely prevented this officer of avoiding some of the storm of which is Katie when she comes around and comes at you, I feel kind of good about that, because he didn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it. Even if I was able to prevent just a little bit of that storm, I'm glad that I did that. It helped bring attention to what was being said about him, and that so when an investigation and everything went into him, they looked at the evidence and they quickly saw that it was bullshit. I am proud of myself for having a hand in that, but the rest of it I could have done better. Now, one other thing I want to call attention to, and this is something that I know is being said about me. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. I'm open to the concept. Before I really give that much of a consideration, I just want to say something that when I look at a situation regarding anyone else, I try to get the most accurate facts that I can. And I just wish people would do the same. They don't owe it to me. They don't have to do it. I get that. But that doesn't mean that I can't wish. And when it comes to the whole brewery incident, there is misinformation out there. And this misinformation is being spread and the narrative is being run because this is what Katie has been pushing. It wasn't an employer. The owner of this business owned another business, a record label, and her husband's record was being produced under this label. That's the connection. So, and I'll be honest, when I first saw the video and heard the voicemails and realized that Katie was doing this on the day in which her husband's album was released, yeah, of course I thought it was a little too coincidental, possibly bullshit. But then I thought more about it though too, especially when she said no one was reporting these. Because let's face it, this is Katie. If there's anyone who's going to incite or cause someone to want to make these phone calls, it's Katie. She makes a lot of enemies online. It's very possible that someone really and genuinely called because she pissed them off. Which one was more possible? I don't know. But even if there's the smallest possibility that these things were real, why not report them? I don't get that. And yeah, even Katie deserves that protection. So I sent one email asking why not report it. I never even told anyone. Like, I wasn't doing this for views or for clicks or for clout or whatever, notoriety. I didn't tell anyone, and I had no intention of telling anyone. The only reason why people know is because she told everyone. And I never heard back from them, and I never wrote again. So, yeah. And I get people won't believe me, and they'll think I did it for selfish reasons, and whatever, I can't change that. But say what you want. My actions don't show this. That I wish people would consider, but whatever. Now, if we're being honest, if anyone's going to be on YouTube and making videos and the same thing, you're the same person or whatever all the time, calling out their flaws, well then that person might be flawed too. And I am definitely no exception to this. I'm freaking flawed. I get that. I think we all are to an extent if this is what we're invested in. Even if you're like watching a lot, like I was watching a lot before I started making videos. I think I was flawed then too. But that's okay. So what? We're flawed. You know, we all just want to be a part of something. We all want to just talk and be seen and be heard. I don't think that's necessarily a flaw. But there are times, though, I think that this can go too far. Like I said earlier, I didn't give the claim that her haters can go as far as they do sometimes, the respect that it deserves. And in regard to that, like take the Duggars, for instance. Yeah, I think Katie goes a little too far. She definitely digs too far. I think she even kind of obsesses about things. But I think that there are those instances in which she does this, which can kind of be forgivable when it involves, like, the Duggars, for instance. Because the things that she has brought to light and she continues to shed light on, I think should stay in the light. They should never be in the dark again. I can't imagine defending things like child abuse or misogyny or patriarchy just because you want to disagree with Katie. And I've probably been guilty of this more than I realized in the past, and I get that. But I'm definitely going to make sure that I'm not guilty of it going forward. Yeah, the Duggars, they deserve to have their shit called out. They do. And I'm glad Katie's doing this. The whole vaccine thing on her Instagram, yeah, there's no excuse for her having put the people's names, their Facebook profiles, the pictures of them and their children out on blast like that. There's no excuse for that. But when I see people arguing that that Katie was wrong for calling them anti-vaxxers, no, I don't think she was, because, and I get that it's hard to see because they were not very clear and precise on their views on vaccines, but there was language used in their comments and the omission of information regarding their loved one's death. Yeah, they were anti-vaxxers. Now, I think it's possible they weren't anti-vax to begin with, but upon losing their loved one and probably other anti-vaxxers getting wind of it and then getting to them, their minds have probably been changed. I think that's how they likely maybe ended up as anti-vaxxers now, because they've been kind of persuaded or brainwashed, whatever. Regardless of how they ended up where they are now, they are where they are now. They are anti-vaxxers, and she was not wrong for calling that out. I do agree, though, that she can be called a little bit hypocritical in this regard, because she has been very adamant about calling out anyone and everyone regarding masks, going out in public, getting vaccinated, getting tested, and social distancing. But yet, when it came to her getting vaccinated, she was very lazy about getting her vaccine. I completely agree with that. That being said, I'll still take lazy over not getting it at all. Now that I've commentated on myself, I want to commentate on a few other things that I've seen. For example, I know back in February, I did a live stream where I expressed how I disagreed with someone. I want to point out how during this live stream, I went above and beyond, and I did this purposely, to make sure that it was clear that I did not disagree with this person as a person. I don't disagree with them as a creator. I like them. I enjoy them. And this isn't coming at them. I just disagree with what was said and done on this live stream. So I did this very politely. Since then, there have been all kinds of arguments made, not so much in defense of the live stream, but an offense against disagreeing with the live stream. And that I don't understand that. I mean, why can't people disagree with her? Why is that so horrible? Why is that so offensive? Why is it so pearl clutching that somebody disagrees with something somebody else did? This is to the point now where it's like, it seems like so many streams now into this, past this, there's still comments being made about a sad fish or whatever else. And it's like people just don't want to let it go, and which is fine. They don't have to. But before this gets discussed further, I just want to point something out. Back in October, when I did let Red's live stream there, or did the live stream with Red, this same creator did her own live stream. She pointed out she did not agree with what I had done or what we had done. She did it very respectfully, and I didn't call it out. I didn't feel the need to call any attention to it, because it's even to the point where now there are digs being made about other content creators, quote unquote, if you want to say that. Maybe it's just me, but if you're on YouTube and you're putting stuff up on YouTube and people are watching, well, then you're a content creator. And I find it kind of hypocritical to suggest that other people are not content creators when you're doing the same exact shit that they're doing. Not only is it hypocritical, but it's kind of uncalled for. One last thing I want to bring up, and I know that this is going to, people are going to hear this and probably roll their eyes, but hear me out here for a second. I know that there has been some upset and disagreement with how Reagan had done the docs there on Twitter. I get that. I don't disagree with that. It was wrong. It was definitely wrong. I just want to call attention to how not only have been some people saying it's been wrong, but it's been like the most wrong thing ever to happen on Twitter, it seems. Okay, that's fine. But then I want to call attention to how these same people watched Katie's Q&A live stream on her live channel. These same people heard Katie talk about the channel EKC something, and then give my full name. And these same people then said, that is not a dox, because my name is out on Twitter. This, mind you, she did this on YouTube. Now, first let me say, I agree. That's not a dox. I was not doxed. Katie did not dox me. Not at all. I just find it kind of hypocritical, though, that that's not a dox. But yet, what happened on Twitter with Reagan was a dox. And I want to add to this that in those tweets, There was no personal information given, but yet in this person's PayPal, her whole name is given, just like my whole name was given on Twitter. So I'm not sure how someone can not only just call one a dox, but not the other, or call one a dox and then refuse to call the other one a dox. Not only just that, but call one of them and talk about it and fight about it and argue about it, not even just defensively, but offensively, so rabidly that it's like the most detrimental thing, the most horrific thing to ever occur on Twitter. But then take practically the same situation and say, well, that's not a dox. See, and I think that this is a lot of the toxic behavior that maybe some people have an issue with. I know it's what I have an issue with, and I'm not innocent of it. I get that. That's, I see it in myself. I maybe not see it in myself at the time it's happening, but I can reflect on myself. And just because I reflect on myself, I get it. Nobody else owes it to me, or owes it to themselves, or owes it to anyone else. I don't care. But the whole point of me starting this YouTube channel, and I said this a while ago, was that I'm doing it for fun. And once it stops being fun, I'm not going to want to do it anymore. Well, I felt like this week it stopped being fun. And it stopped being fun because I felt like I couldn't say what I wanted to say. I felt like I had to hold myself back. I had to stop doing what I wanted to do. This whole thing was cathartic for me, and it felt like it was not being cathartic anymore. Felt like it was being stressful. And no, I want it to be fun, so I'm going to just go back to doing what I do best. And if that's making waves, well, then that's making waves. I mean, no disrespect by it. I'm not looking to fight with anyone, but I'm not going to shut up either. If there's something that's bothering me to the point where I need to say something, I'm going to say something. If that makes me an asshole, that makes me an asshole. If my trying to clear someone who's being accused of lying and being corrupt and doing illegal things on his job, if that makes me an asshole, well, then I'm an asshole. But that's one time in which I can be happy to be an asshole. There are times where I'm an asshole, and I get it. It's embarrassing, and I'm not proud of myself, and I will try and change that. But in those instances where I'm not upset about being an asshole, I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to feel like I shouldn't discuss it either. So to wrap this up, I am going to start making this fun again. This is going to be fun again. I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing, but I'm going to talk about whatever I want, commentate about whatever I want, whoever I want even. It still won't be all commentary though. It's going to still be as much humor as I can put into it, or try to anyways. Attempt to, even poorly. Whether it's the translator videos or anything else, or just, I want to use the word snarky here, but for some reason the word snarky I don't like it anymore. I think a lot of people can relate to that, but yeah, I kind of do want to keep that, because that's just me. That's who I am. I mean, like, I do ignore a lot of the comments and everything I read about myself, which is fine. I don't really mind it, but sometimes I see a comment where I kind of do want to say something about it, just because there's a joke there. Like, I read somewhere that apparently I think I'm God. Yeah, I could see how people kind of get that impression. I think I do come off as kind of pompous and arrogant, no doubt. But you would too if there's always been someone saying, oh God, to you right in your face, I mean, who wouldn't start to think that they're God after a while? On that note, I think I'm done. So thanks for watching.